How y'all doing? This LNJ Gaming. Story time. Where I'm gonna start at? Where I'm gonna start? Why did I start YouTube in the first place? I started YouTube in the first place while I was working. I was working a 9-to-5 job, and every job I was doing, they let me go. Not because of me, it's the fact that my mindset is like I was always connecting to the bosses. I knew more than the bosses. I knew better about the company than they do, so they look at me as a threat. But let's go farther back down the line. When I was a kid, I always loved playing video games. I used to get camera cut off. I used to get a lot of fights after school. And my mom used to buy me all these video games to keep me off the street so I won't be involved with the violence and people shooting out at nighttime. I won't be out in the streets. So my mom kind of saved me from the streets, because ever since I got into video games, that's all I've been doing, playing video games, being in the house, connected with friends. But then all of a sudden, when I started meeting friends outside, they used to break into my house and steal my games. And I didn't know where my games was at. I come home after school, who stole my games? And I thought about who was the last person that was in my house. I used to go around the block trying to find the people who stole my games, because that's all I had to myself while I was living in the hood. Then when I turned 14, I ran across the street and I got hit by a car 5 feet up in the air. I thought I was dead, but I woke up in the ambulance. And the ambulance guy was like, "Yo, do not move. You broke your arm." My left arm was fractured. More to the story is, man, I wanted to do YouTube back in the day, but I didn't do it because I was so distracted with all the other stuff was going on. I got stories beyond stories. But it really started off with me being in video games, and two, when it came to music. I always was while I was in high school, I always used to beatbox, like I used to do that, and the teachers would thought I had a radio when I didn't have a radio, and I used to get in trouble for beatboxing. I know how to do all that, so I turned that skill into making music. I never knew about music software. Now I know about music software, so I made a YouTube channel while I was working at my old job. That's how it all started, with the gaming and with the YouTube. So I started making a lot of music on YouTube, and that's how I blew up on my music channel, JT Instrumentals. I started getting all these views. I started promoting my music and people was watching it. That's a story about YouTube. But then I stopped doing it because I had to provide for my family, and I ended up working at a phone store. But then when I was working at the phone store, I got into self-development. Whereas though instead of me working on my job, I started working with myself, inside myself, and better myself instead of working on a job. So ever since then, I was just working, and then I started seeing signs about taking the leap of faith. So one day I went to work, and when you realize what your self-worth is, I was in the bathroom just thinking like, damn, I didn't want this lifestyle. Working 9-to-5 job, I was only making like $100 a week. It wasn't enough to provide for my family and like that. And I was sitting there thinking to myself like, what can I do to put my family into a better situation? Next thing you know, I said I quit. Best decision I ever made on my whole entire life is when I said I quit my fucking job. It's like overwhelming of joy just to be like, yo, I quit. Because now when you quit, all the energy you have, you could focus on your dreams and your goals, stuff that you really wanted to do. So I started investing in myself. Music. I said, what can I do to be in the best situation? YouTube. Started music, made an intro, started doing my music again. I started doing sub for sub, but that didn't work. Somebody said I misused content, so I couldn't do sub for sub on my gaming channel anymore. So I said, you know what? Instead of me doing a music channel, let me do a gaming channel. Now here I am. I said, my fiance, she came up with the name LNJ. Lily, Noah, and Joseph. I got 3 kids. LNJ. My gaming channel is named after those 3. And what happened is, next you know, I started doing game. I started uploading, started promoting. Channel got monetized. Boom. Next you know, I started making merch. Someone was like, why don't you make merch? Make merch. Boom. Started making cups, hoodies, shirts, tank tops, stuff for girls, stuff for little girls, stuff for boys, stuff for little boys. Phone cases. I started working for myself, because you can't really work for somebody else. You're not going to get nowhere. You're still going to be in the same situation because you're not investing in yourself. Do stuff that you love doing that's going to invest in you and make you better, not nobody else better. Now that's my story. I really finally realized that it's more to our life than working a 9-to-5 job for the rest of your life. And think you're going to get ahead in life, but truthfully, you're not. Because you're working for somebody. Like, you can't own that company. You might move up in that company, but you ain't going to own it. That company ain't yours, so why are you working for it? Why not create your own business and promote your own self and better yourself and make your own money? So, LNJ Gaming, I love playing video games. So why not do what I love and make money while I'm doing it? It don't feel like a job. I'm out. Deuces.